My girlfriend broke down in tears. I shared a kiss with my former partner. It was an instant of vulnerability and I'm filled with remorse. Please accept my apology. I replied, people slip up sometimes. Then I revealed the non-changeable flight tickets to Paris I'd purchased to pop the question on her birthday next month, and afterward I set them ablaze right before her eyes. My entire world basically collapsed last Tuesday. It feels over the top, I realize, but that's the sole way to capture it. It unfolded when my girlfriend of 2 years, Maya, pulled me aside for a serious conversation. She had the entire act rehearsed. Her voice trembled, tears streamed down her cheeks, and she could hardly meet my gaze. She admitted she'd committed something awful and needed to come clean. Evidently, she'd gone out for cocktails with pals the prior weekend, and her ex-boyfriend, Liam, coincidentally appeared at the same venue. They started chatting, events escalated, and well, you can imagine what followed. She clutched my hand firmly, and the sobbing commenced. I kissed my ex, she wept. It was an instant of vulnerability and I'm filled with remorse. Please accept my apology. She glanced up, awaiting my response. She braced for my fury, for shouting, perhaps even for me to smash an object. She prepared for conflict, because conflict can be handled. She wasn't ready for my actual reaction. I simply stared at her, expression neutral, and stated, people slip up sometimes. The wave of relief that swept over her was repulsive. It was glaringly apparent. She believed that concluded it, that she'd skillfully weathered the crisis. She assumed my pardon was so simple to obtain. I rose and headed to my desk in the living room corner. I mentioned her timing was impeccable. I'd been arranging a birthday surprise for next month. From the upper drawer, I retrieved a hefty packet from a luxury travel firm. I unsealed it and spread the papers across the coffee table. 2 non-changeable, premium-class flight tickets to Paris. A printed booking for a week-long stay in a lavish suite at one of the city's top hotels. A schedule of evening reservations at eateries she'd raved about for months. Her mouth fell open. Paris was her dream destination. Then I reached into my jacket pocket and withdrew the tiny velvet ring case. I didn't need to reveal it. I merely set it atop the tickets. Her admission, her entire tearful tale of vulnerability, choked in her throat. She gaped at a tangible, costly vision of the future she figured was secured, the future she'd gambled for a kiss with her ex. She began to utter my name, voice quivering, but I raised my hand to silence her. I stepped to the fireplace, grabbed the extended lighter from the shelf, and returned to the coffee table. I met her eyes directly, then lifted the flight tickets. I ignited the lighter and torched them. I gripped the flaming sheets as long as the heat allowed, the fire transforming our plans into dark, twisting cinders, before releasing them into the vacant hearth. She remained seated, paralyzed, lips parted. The insincere tears vanished, supplanted by utter, terrified astonishment. The sole noise was the final paper smoldering into vapor. Allow me to clarify my character. I'm no pushover. I run an engineering company I constructed from scratch, and my role involves resolving intricate issues with reason and accuracy. I lack patience for theatrics or manipulation. My father instilled 2 lessons: a man's worth lies in his integrity, and you establish limits and uphold them. No leniency. When Maya and I grew committed, I was clear about my non-negotiables. The primary one was former partners. They're excluded entirely. No contact, no reminiscing, zero. She claimed alignment, saying she despised insecure men, and my resolve drew her in. She was a skilled performer. For 2 years, she embodied the ideal companion. Liam always seemed slightly suspicious. He was her university sweetheart, a performer she described as a typical immature type who wouldn't mature. She portrayed him as charismatic yet unreliable, the artist who shattered her heart. She contrasted him perfectly with me, the dependable, accomplished partner she'd sought. It was convincing, and I believed it. Now I see she wasn't recounting history. She was crafting an alibi for what was coming. Honestly, her admission wasn't entirely unexpected. I'm an engineer. I detect when figures don't align, when a structure's stability falters. Over recent months, our relationship's foundation felt unstable. She constantly texted, grinning at messages she'd swiftly conceal if I entered. Her outings with friends increased, details always fuzzy. The initial red flag came a month back. My buddy Kevin phoned, sounding uneasy. He said he'd been at a concert event a few hours away that weekend and spotted Maya. She was with some man, very affectionate, hands linked, full display. He wouldn't have mentioned it, but he saw them again the following day, clearly coupled up. When I challenged Maya, she didn't merely refute. She attacked. She showed texts with her friend Tara, planning their ladies' getaway to the event. She insisted they bumped into Tara's relative, a stranger to her, and labeled me irrationally jealous. She wept, claimed I distrusted her, and painted me as unstable. I relented, but suspicion took root. Her explanation was overly polished, scripted. That's when I sought concrete evidence. I did something regrettable, but necessary in my view. I acquired a compact GPS device and installed it in the vehicle she used, registered to me. I felt invasive, but instinct demanded action. For the following fortnight, I monitored. The logs were conclusive. Numerous visits to a pub across town where Liam's group played weekly. Stops at a green space near his residence midday, when she claimed client meetings. Her vulnerability wasn't isolated. It was habitual. Her emotional confession was strategic. She likely detected my wariness and preempted with a lesser, pardonable falsehood. So, in the living room with ticket smoke lingering, I wasn't responding to a kiss. I was addressing accumulated deceit. She eventually spoke, yelling. She branded me unhinged, accused me of torching our future over one dumb error. I allowed her tirade briefly, then quietly displayed my phone. I revealed the GPS map dotted with red markers of her covert journeys. It wasn't a kiss, Maya, I said. It was an alternate existence. Her face paled. Defiance evaporated. I instructed her to pack and vacate my home before my gym return. She lingered, naturally, relocating to the spare room and barring the door. She figured she could outlast me. She misjudged. Next day, I contacted others. My attorney Mark arranged a 30-day eviction notice delivered by midday. I visited my bank, withdrew funds from joint accounts, and transferred to a solo one elsewhere. I phoned card issuers and revoked her authorization. I scrubbed our digital ties, updating logins and removing her from subscriptions to our photo gallery. The pivotal revelation, elevating this from infidelity to systemic fraud, stemmed from my profession. As an engineer, I handle bills, records, finances daily. I'm thorough. While untangling money matters, I scrutinize joint statements closely. I spotted recurring minor excesses to a utility provider. Not large, perhaps $50 or $100 monthly, but steady. The utility denied overages. Funds diverted elsewhere. I matched codes with bank data and uncovered payments to an unknown credit card. This seemed blocked without more. Luck intervened. Days into our silent standoff, mail arrived for Maya from an unfamiliar bank. I'd have dismissed it, but it read second notice, critical. Fearing joint liability, I opened it. It was a card statement, treasure trove. Solely in her name, high limit. Pages of luxury apparel, wellness visits, upscale dining I'd never shared. Spending mismatched her income. Payments section showed auto debits from a corporate account at another bank. This was the core secret. Liam was decoy. This was enterprise. As a corporation founder, I know registrations exist. I searched public databases overnight. Hours later, located. The entity was a shell owned by Marcus Thorne, affluent, serial divorced real estate magnate in his late 60s, famed for extravagance and preference for youth. Maya wasn't merely unfaithful, she maintained a sponsored parallel world. This shifted everything. My engagement, our path, merely one asset in her mail portfolio. I engaged a private investigator not for proof of betrayal but visuals of her Thorne tie. The PI, former detective, delivered photos in 72 hours. Them at a cozy meal in a luxury hotel. Report noted Thorne settled with the corporate card funding Maya's hidden one. Loop closed. The eviction month showcased her tactics. Maya deployed her closest friend, Tara, to advocate. Tara arrived aggressive, decrying my surveillance as domineering. I placed Thorne Maya photos on the table. I inquired if she knew her friend accepted funds from an elderly tycoon while cohabiting with me. Tara gawked, speechless. She departed silently. Next, Maya dispatched her folks. They appeared uninvited, pushing reconciliation and fresh starts. I questioned if they knew Marcus Thorne. Their recoil revealed complicity. They'd known, enabled her. I ordered them out or police would handle trespass. The peak satisfaction occurred roughly a week pre-departure. A package from premium tech retailer arrived. Latest high-end laptop. Gift note inside. From Marcus, early birthday wishes. I accepted delivery. That evening, upon her return, I presented the box. Seems your backup plan still invests, I remarked, her sheer terror upon realizing my full knowledge surpassed any regret. No escapes, no fabrications remained. Moving day was somber, muted. She contacted Liam for aid, but he abruptly unavailable. She tried parents, who declined further involvement. She booked app-based movers for her wardrobe haul from my residence. She was isolated. As she exited finally, she pivoted. I hope this satisfies you, she spat venomously. You've destroyed my existence. I regarded her and replied, I did nothing. I simply ceased funding your existence. There's a distinction. Final measures ensured separation. Attorney Mark dispatched 2 correspondences. First to Marcus Thorne. Formal, factual. Detailed Maya's deception, cohabitation while accepting his support. Included investigator invoice, citing his role in costs. Added GPS logs, note on partnership interference risks. No Liam reply, but word spread his band lost their weekly slot soon after. Venue owner connects to my firm's major client. I may have casually noted events. Pure chance. Thorne acted swiftly. Week post letter, credit alert, Maya's funded card terminated. Her primary revenue severed. Last reports, Maya in cramped rental, barely solvent, debt sunk. She attempted online smear of controlling ex, but anonymous posts of Thorne photos and replies prompted profile deletions. The vengeance wasn't hearth flames. That was prelude. True retribution was systematic, rational deconstruction of her deceptive empire, leaving her solitary with fallout. I pawned the ring, and I'm escorting my sister to Paris. Turns out, non-changeable tickets occasionally transferable. Who'd have guessed?